Here he comes after 13 days.
Wow, he's finally here.
Wow,
Wow, yeah. Awesome. Yeah, thanks for nothing. Hey, right here. Hey, you, Joe Biden.
Yeah, welcome to Maui, Sleepy Joe. And you know what? It just went downhill from there. Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. And, what can we say? I mean, what can you possibly say in response to this utterly humiliating disaster? And of course, I'm talking about the Dementor-in-Chief himself, bike riding Biden. As you know, 2 weeks ago, and yes, you heard that right, 2 freaking weeks ago, fires ravaged Maui County, devastating the historic and tourist town of Lahaina almost completely to ruin, to ashes. Businesses and homes were destroyed, and nearly 1,000 people remain unaccounted for, with hopes of finding them alive diminishing with every passing moment. It is by far the single deadliest fire disaster in American history. But don't tell that to Joe. I mean, you'd literally be wasting your time. His cognitive decline is really that bad. As the fires ravaged Maui, here's what Joe Biden was doing. Can you talk about Maui, Mr. President? Can you talk about Maui, Mr. President? I mean, if you're listening by podcast, that's Biden riding his bike while on vacation with his stupid helmet on, looking like a child. At least he's on it and not crashing to the ground because, bikes are hard to stay on. But days went by. Days! And yet Biden, who again was on vacation throughout this horror, said nothing. He had no comment on the deadliest fires in our nation's history. It took him nearly 2 weeks to show up to this devastation. And almost immediately after arriving in Hawaii, he literally stepped in it. I kid you not. He complained about how hot the ground was.
You guys catch the boots out here? That's some hot ground, man.
Hello, everybody. All right, Chris, we're going to jump ahead to the next spot, okay, guys? Thank you.
Yes, you just heard that. You just heard your president, the Dementor-in-Chief, joking about how hot the ground was in Maui after the deadliest fires in our nation's history. You guys catch the boots out here? That's a hot ground, man. And then he actually went on to compare what happened in Maui to his own personal experience of almost losing his Corvette.
I don't want to compare difficulties, but we have a little sense, Jill and I, what it's like to lose a home. Years ago, now 15 years ago, I was in Washington doing Meet the Press. It was a sunny Sunday, and lightning struck at home on a little lake that's outside of our home, not a lake, a big pond, and hit a wire and came up underneath our home into the heating ducts, the air conditioning duct. To make a long story short, I almost lost my wife, my 67 Corvette, and my cat. But all kidding aside.
And what makes matters even worse, we now have video of Biden apparently falling asleep while sitting through a ceremony honoring the survivors of the fire. Again, you just can't make this shit up. What you just saw play out there was not just one disaster, but 2. And I'm going to show you precisely what those 2 disasters really are. But first, many of you have been kind enough to notice that I've lost a couple of pounds of late. It's actually true. I've lost over 60 pounds. That's right. I've tried everything under the sun to lose weight, and nothing worked. until I discovered the fantastic nutrition coaching of PhD Weight Loss. PhD Weight Loss is a 100% over-the-phone nutrition and behavior coaching program that I simply could not possibly recommend enough. I was able to eat delicious meals all while reaching my weight loss goals in record time, and it was one of the easiest things I ever did. They completely take out all the guesswork behind what, when, and how much to eat. They make the process painless, simple, and as easy as possible. Dr. Ashley Lucas has helped thousands achieve their health goals over the last 15 years, and the best part about PhD is that once you hit that goal weight, your maintenance support is completely free. So when you need that help readjusting, if you start gaining any of that pesky weight back, there's nothing to worry about. They've got your back. Make sure to click on that link below and join myself as well as thousands of other patriots who are taking back control of our health. We know the demons at Davos want us docile and unhealthy as to remain complacent against their agenda, but your health goals are very much in reach. Speak to the very people who helped me become my healthiest self by clicking on that link below right now. We have before us two major disasters in Hawaii. The first is obviously the total and complete incompetence among Maui officials that caused this disaster in the first place. You have officials admitting that they purposely did not sound the alarms because they were worried people would hear them and think a tsunami was coming and run up into the hills where the fires were. And so these Democrat geniuses in Maui decided instead not to sound any alarms. And as a result, many people ended up trapped in their homes by the flames. Again, keep in mind, reports are that upwards of 1,000 people remain missing. Moreover, when the power lines fell, apparently the utilities company didn't turn the power off so as to prevent the overgrown dried grass from catching fire. And then, of course, there was the matter of the water shortage that prevented firefighters from putting out the fire. I mean, we've actually got a woke Hawaiian official claim that because Hawaiians see water as sacred, he was apparently hesitant to release water to help fight the fires. So in the end, it took a whole sequence of total incompetence of people not doing their jobs in order for this tragedy to happen. You had dilapidated power lines. They didn't shut the power off when they fell. They failed to sound the alarm. They failed to release sufficient water supplies to fight the fires. I mean, it was a masterclass in bureaucratic incompetence. But of course, there's another disaster here. And no, I'm not talking about Biden. I'm talking about the utterly vile, viciously propagandistic legacy media. What I'm about to play for you right now is from 2015. This is 10 years after the Hurricane Katrina disaster that devastated New Orleans. Listen to how the media covered that event 10 years later.
Who was at fault and how much were they at fault?
Well, George W. Bush did a terrible leadership job during that crisis. He kind of acted like nothing was happening wrong for the first days. He had been in San Diego where he played air guitar, and then he did the famous flyover, being very detached from the devastation, and that photograph that damaged his presidency immensely of him just peering down at the abyss. Then when he did come back and land in the Gulf South, he put his arm around Michael Brown saying, "Brownie, you did a heck of a job." That soundbite became the Bush soundbite. It was about dysfunction. Everybody, it was even connected in a way to the war in Iraq.
Now, contrast that coverage, again, even 10 years after the disaster. Contrast that with this from CNN. Biden vows support for fire-ravaged Maui as search efforts continue. Or this from NBC News. In visit to Maui, Biden vows to do everything possible to help with recovery. You seeing a pattern there? Or how about this from Reuters? In Maui, Biden sees long road ahead in recovering from deadly wildfires. This was Biden's Katrina moment. And in typical fashion, the legacy media covered it up. They Hunter Biden laptoped it. They told you that there was nothing to see here. Move on, you racists! We are living in the midst of the single most horrific informational disasters imaginable. Our legacy media would make Kim Jong-un blush. They're literally nothing but full-blown propagandists at this point, treating information as a mechanism of control and manipulation. But it's not working. The world sees what's happening. They see the devastating consequences of incompetence all across the board. The question is simply when, not if, but when will we finally have had enough? Hey gang, I know what it's like to feel alone out there in these turbulent times, but I broke free. If you too have been looking for a community with like-minded patriots who are serious about resisting globalism, building a parallel economy, and having intelligent and deep fellowship on a regular basis, then you've come to the right place. In my Courageous Patriot Insiders community, we're building a close-knit movement of, by, and for patriots who are breaking free from the outrage and despair cycles of the mainstream media and taking on the fight against globalism. Every week, I deep dive into the content I can't share on big tech and give you the cliff notes on the truth of how patriots just like you are building up their communities, starting patriot businesses, and fighting the woke in both public and private. All with a few history and political lessons from yours truly, of course. If you want to stop feeling alone as a patriot and stand together with this fast-growing community, be sure to click on the link in the description below. Don't wait. Join me and my Patriot Coalition today, and let's get fighting.